What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Panda here, and today I bring you another video for Knighthood. Now, this is something I have been asked on like every video, in every PM, on every Discord that I'm in, and that is to make a tier list. Now, before I get into making this tier list, I just want to clarify that I myself have not tested all of these heroes. I am going to be making this tier list off of my own personal experience, the experience with which I have seen others have, and the description of the hero's abilities in the game. As you can see here on the left side of the screen, we have the tier list maker, which you guys can access this by just going to tiermaker.com. When you put in the create a tier list template, you can just type in Knighthood, and there is the Knighthood heroes template. So if you want to create your own tier list, you can. I will leave a description. I will leave a link in the description to this website so you guys can make your own. And then, of course, we have the game just simply right above me here. I know my camera is cutting off most of it, but I checked beforehand. You'll still be able to see all of the skills, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So let's just dive right in. We are going to start just at the top here with these basic common heroes. Ashe. Now, Ashe is a valiant hunter and he's a beast hero. He's got some pretty decent skills. He's one of the heroes you get just right off the start, and in my opinion, he is a really good hero for early game. I would definitely recommend investing in him just a little bit in the early game because you're going to be fighting against some beasts. He's a decent hero early on. I'm going to put him in D tier. And the only reason I put him in D tier is because he falls off pretty hard, but he's still pretty good at applying burn to low-level roaming monsters if you keep him low enough level. He also has strong versus weaken on his basic, which is just not that great. But the burn is great early game and into late game when you are farming roaming monsters. So next we have Rosalyn. Now Rosalyn is a chaotic mage, strong versus goblins. Her base skill deals damage and restores health, and her range skill deals damage and restores health. Now, surprisingly, this unit is actually not that bad. Let me see if I can find her. Here she is. I am actually going to put her in C tier. And the reason why I'm going to put her in C tier is because she is a good hero for Onslaught Dungeon. Now, you're probably thinking, but I have Grim. Grim is just 1,000 times better. You're right, he is. But there are 2 goblin stages, and Rosalyn can be your stage 3 once you get a little stronger. So I definitely think she is a worthwhile unit to invest in, at least a little bit. Then we move on to Helmar. Helmar is a champion warrior, strong versus outlaw. His basic is strong versus armor, and his rage ability has a chance to weaken. I don't like Helmar. I never liked him. I guess you can't see my Helmar. Oh yeah, you can. He's level 10. I don't like him. I don't think he's good. He's okay at the start. He has a pretty strong rage ability for the start of the game. But personally, I don't see him being very good. I mean, he's going in F tier for me. He's not that great for me. He also has a chance to stun if you 3-star him, but I don't see him having really any use. Next, we have Sola. She is a rebel rogue, strong versus cult hero. To be honest, she is just probably one of the worst heroes in the game. I guess maybe when you max star her, she has potential to do okay damage if you pair her with Vordry and the burn. But at this point, everyone should have Garen. So she's also, in my opinion, she's in the F tier. I don't really see her being that great. Once you 3-star her and she gets this burn damage, I guess she could deal more damage when paired with Vordry if you don't have Garen. But overall, not that great. Zoe is a champion mage, strong versus golem hero, and Zoe is actually a pretty good hero. She's very useful in certain Onslaught Dungeon stages. She's very useful when you need to freeze in a roaming monster. She's also required for a side quest. You have to get her to level 22 or 21 or 24, I don't know, somewhere in the 20s, and I think that she's okay with investing, and I think she's an okay hero overall. I'm not going to put her much higher. I'm thinking C or D tier. I'll give her C just because she looks cool. right? She looks okay. She looks okay. Aaron is a dark hunter, strong versus cult hero. His base ignores armor, and applies poison to the front and backline units if they are in a line. And his rage ability has a chance to acid. Aaron is a great early game cult hero. He's kind of like a budget Garen, a pre-Vordry, I guess you could say. I definitely think he is a good hero to invest in early on. Where is he on our list here? Aaron is right here. I am going to put him also in the C tier. His max level bonus just deals 50% more damage to enemies with poison, so he just kind of boosts himself. So he's definitely not a bad option. He's also a great unit to use for if you have to apply poison or acid in roaming monsters. So definitely a great unit there. Next, we have Sarah. She is a lawful alchemist, strong versus trolls. Don't use her. I don't like her. She's a potential to use in White Peaks as a backline stunner. But like, I'd rather just bring Terra. Yeah, I'd rather bring Terra. And her ultimate is just, you know, like you'd rather use Titania's. So Sarah is, in my opinion, where is she on here? Oh, Sarah. I'm blind. Where is she? There she is. We're gonna go E tier. I don't think she's garbage. I think she's useful if for some reason you don't have Terra. But yeah, not that great for me. Wormwood is a phenomenal hero. He is a logical alchemist, strong versus militias. His base here power heals armor, and his rage ability applies acid. He is great for onslaught dungeon and applying acid in roaming monsters. So where is he? I don't know where any of these guys are. I knew where they all were beforehand. He also goes in the C tier. You're kind of seeing a little bit of a pattern here, right? Terra is a great unit. She's a rebel warrior, strong versus trolls. Base ability has a chance to stun in a line. Rage ability deals damage to all and is strong versus acid. Terra is the go-to unit for White Peaks when you are fighting the trolls. So in my opinion, she is B tier. She is the best when it comes to fighting the trolls in White Peaks, and White Peaks is like your first big like milestone. So in my opinion, Terra deserves to be very high up here. So she is going in the B tier for me. Next, we have Tristan. He is a holy hunter, strong versus golem. Tristan is a phenomenal unit. His base ability cures all negative status effects and heals, and his ultimate deals damage and has a chance to regenerate, which is just overall a fantastic skill. To be honest, I'm not quite sure where to put him. I contemplated before making this video of putting him in either B or A tier, because I believe that he is very strong in certain fights throughout White Peaks and Realm of Fire. I just don't know how strong he is in the later game. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put him potentially in B. If I do a little more testing and I find him to be better, I may up his tier at that point. After Tristan, we have Cruces. Cruces is another phenomenal unit. He's a Maverick hunter, strong versus outlaw. He is also amazing in White Peaks. When you go into the first portion of White Peaks, you're going to be fighting against outlaw minions, and some of those outlaw minions have a chance to stun you in the back line. Cruces can handle that with the basic as it stuns enemies in the back row, and its ultimate is great because it is strong versus armor, and most outlaw units have armor. So Cruces is definitely in the B tier for me. Then we move on to Rockera. She is a maniacal rogue, strong versus demons. Her base has a chance to weaken, and her rage has a chance to burn. You'll find a little bit of a pattern here. Rogues are just not very good. There's only really one rogue that I have personally used that I find to be incredible. And Rockera is unfortunately not much better. There's much better demon heroes than her. So we are going to take Rockera and we are going to put her in the F tier. Then we move on to Otis. Otis is a holy rogue, strong versus undead. Again, he's a rogue. Not that great. His rage ability does have a chance to dispel buffs, which could be potentially very, very good. But I don't really find him to be that great, especially since his max level bonus just increases the damage of cult minions, which, like, not good. So Otis, just like other people in this tier here, is in the F tier, garbage. I would never put anything into him. Gwen. So Gwen is a lawful warrior, strong versus militia. Gwen is actually surprisingly not terrible. But like only for roaming monsters, in my opinion. When I have to kill something with a militia unit, Gwen is my go-to, simply because I have no other militia that has a damaging base power. So for me, personally, Gwen is ranked a little higher than she probably should be. I'm going to put Gwen in D tier simply because she's good at roaming monsters. That's kind of why I put her there. Blaine is a maniacal warrior, strong versus goblins. Base skill, chance to expose, and rage skill is strong versus expose. His max is increasing the damage of troll minions. If that was something else, maybe we could have some success here with Blaine. But Blaine is just, I've never used him. I don't like him. And unfortunately, in this case, I have to agree with Muffin Mouth that he is just not worth it. He's an F tier for me. Then we move on to Zalam. Zalam is a fantastic unit, champion alchemist, strong versus demons. Base power deals damage to the back row and heals, and ultimate power deals damage in strong versus poison. This is going to be probably your go-to unit for Onslaught Dungeon level 4. If you've watched my video on the Onslaught Dungeon level 4, we use Zalam until we buffed up our Ursula. So Zalam is definitely top tier. Gonna go ahead and go into, we'll say C tier, because Onslaught Dungeon level 4, he's really good for the start, but eventually you get so strong that Onslaught Dungeon heroes are meh. So C tier for Zalam. Then we move into Titania. Titania is a valiant mage, strong versus beast, but that doesn't matter because she is the only hero in the game, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's the only hero in the game who has double survivability skills. Fey Gift has a chance to regenerate and restores health and armor, and Lunar Light has a chance to protect and restores health and armor. Her base skill also applies focus when you max star her. You've probably seen a couple of my videos at this point, and you know that Titania is one of the best heroes in the game. So my girl is going to go, I'm only putting her in A so I can move her up here to SS here. Titania is one of the best heroes in the game. SS here by far. She is great early game. She's great mid game. She's great late game. She's great in PvP. She's great in Onslaught Dungeon. She's great in just any time you are stuck on a level. You bring her and you'll pass that level. I can almost guarantee it. Then we move on to Inara. Inara is a chaotic alchemist, strong versus undead. Base power heals with a chance to protect, and rage ability has a chance to burn. Inara is phenomenal again. She is great in the early game, and she is great in the Realm of Fire. I'm going to put her in S tier only because I don't see her being useful in other modes such as Onslaught Dungeon, PvP, things like that. But she is great for story mode for sure. Then we move on to Balberith. Balberith is a chaotic alchemist, strong versus beast. Base ability has a chance to burn, and rage ability has a chance to heal, or has a chance to apply focus and heals. Balberith is a roaming monster unit. For me, he is the one I use to apply burn, so he is going to go into the D tier simply because that's all he's for, is roaming monsters for me. I don't really use him anywhere else. Neko is a maniacal hunter, strong versus goblins. Base power is strong versus burn and deals damage to one enemy in the back row, and the rage ability has distributes damage and has a chance to expose. Now you'd think because she has a chance to, or she distributes damage across all enemies, that this would be a really good unit. She also has an AoE defense break, which in most games is phenomenal, but in my opinion, this right here would have to become a little bit better. Like, maybe she's really, really good versus goblin enemies, but I just don't find her that great. Maybe once I max star her, I'll try her out a little bit more. But for now, I think I'm just going to put her in the E tier, because I don't think she's garbage. I think she has some potential versus goblin enemies. There's just not a lot of goblin enemies to really try her out against. Fahari, Maverick Rogue, strong versus cult. Base power deals damage to current target and has a chance to fury, and rage power deals damage and heals and is strong versus acid. Fahari is a Onslaught Dungeon unit for me as well. I believe it is stage 3 that I take her into. And this is definitely a good unit for that. Outside of that, not that great. So we're going to put her into the C tier. We'll put her in C tier because Onslaught Dungeon is a little more important than roaming monsters early on. Then we have Glados. He is a dark mage, strong versus outlaw. Base skill just deals damage to back row. Rage skill, chance to weaken. Never used him. Don't like him. F. Then we move on to the blue heroes. So we've got Ffred. I actually just recently got him. He is a holy mage, strong versus trolls. Base power is strong versus acid. Rage power cures all negative effects and has a chance to regenerate. I think that he has some potential. The only downside here is that he's not better than Titania, I don't think. And her rage ability is just so strong. So if you maybe need someone to deal damage versus trolls, he could be good. But outside of that, I don't know. If we look at his max level bonus, it increases healing from mage heroes, which when you pair it with Titania, makes him better. So I am going to go ahead and put him a little higher. I don't know how far I want to go. I'm thinking B tier just because he buffs the Bay. Then we move on to Grim. Grim, one of the best heroes, man. Dark Alchemist, strong versus Goblin. Base power, chance to freeze. Rage power, deals a bunch of damage and heals you for the same amount. Phenomenal new unit. He is going to go into the A tier. I think he's great. He's good early game. He's good in Onslaught Dungeon level 3, Onslaught Dungeon level 6. He's going to get you through all of those big hurdles. Then we move on to Grax. Grax is a maniacal hunter, strong versus outlaw. Base power has a chance, deals damage to the back row and strong versus expose. And Bone Storm is the ultimate and has a chance to stun. Now this guy is potentially good versus the beginning part of of White Peaks, but personally I think that Cruces is better. So unfortunately, I'm going to put him in the C tier because I think he's useful in White Peaks, but unless you get lucky and pull him early, I think that Cruces is going to be better for you. I do think that there's a lot of potential to run both Cruces and Grax together to have even more stun chances, but to be honest, if you're building Cruces the right way, he's going to one-shot those backline units when you use his rage, making Cruces, or making Grax rage just not worth it. Then we move on to Enduro, a logical warrior, strong versus cult. His base power heals and has a chance to focus. His rage deals damage and dispels buffs from the targets. Now, this right here is probably the most important piece about him. Increases the critical chance of warrior hero powers by 30%. Ninjuro is one of the best heroes in the game. He pairs amazingly with everyone else. He goes into SS tier, but keep in mind, he is only SS tier when he is max starred. Outside of that, he's not that great. I use him in Onslaught Dungeon, but not amazing until he's max starred. So just keep that in mind. Next, we move on to Lars. Lars I actually just pulled. He's a chaotic warrior, strong versus golem. His base power is strong versus acid and does damage to the entire front row. And his back is strong versus frozen and deals damage to all enemies, of course. His max star bonus adds a chance to inflict expose with the hero's base power. I personally think that Lars is pretty good. I've done a little bit with him. Obviously, he's only level 3. I haven't done a lot. I haven't done a lot of testing, but he is a golem hero that has a base power that deals damage, which for me is huge. He also, once you max star him, has an AoE defense break, which I think is pretty strong. He's also a warrior, which we just talked about how Enduro buffs warriors, and he deals damage to multiple targets. So I am going to say that Lars is a little bit better than most people. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Of course, this is without a lot of testing. This is just based off his, base information. Moving on to Rhiannon, she is a rebel hunter, strong versus militia. Base power deals damage to the back row, and rage power deals damage to all enemies, and is strong versus stunned. Rhiannon is a phenomenal unit for the first part of ROF, so she is by far going to be in the B tier because just like Terra and Cruces, she is phenomenal for Realm of Fire. Then we move on to Pentatonix. Pentatonix is a lawful rogue, strong versus beast. Base power has a chance to fury, rage power deals damage, and is strong versus burn. Not that great. Ninjuro has basically this same skill, and he is better. He's a warrior that buffs other warriors. Pentatonix is not that great, and also is a beast hero. And there's not a lot of beasts in the game. So Pentatonix for me is going to be in the E tier because I think he has potential if we see beasts show up. But until then, not that great. Burn. So this is one of the rogues that I actually kind of like. He's a logical rogue, strong versus goblins. His base power has a chance to poison and ignores armor, and his rage ability is strong versus poison and also ignores armor. I think that Burn is actually a really phenomenal unit. He's super helpful in stage 3 and stage 6 of the Onslaught dungeon, so I am going to rate him once I find him here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Burn. There he is. I am going to rate him in the C tier because he's a rogue, which is meh, but I think he has some potential. He's also very good in the Onslaught dungeon. So he's also my first blue unit. Ursula. So Ursula is a dark mage, strong versus demon hero. Base skill deals damage to the front row, has a chance to expose. A rage skill distributes damage. It restores health by the amount that you deal. This is a very good unit. Personally, I find her phenomenal for stage 5 of the Onslaught dungeon, and she's also not terrible before you have Vordry for Guild Boss. So Ursula for me is going to be in B tier. I think she's pretty good. I like her. Oh, what is her? I actually forgot to look at this. She also has a 50% additional crit chance against demon enemies when she's max starred. So even better when you're fighting demons. Useful unit to take into Realm of Fire potentially. Then we move on to Victor. Victor is a Maverick Mage, strong versus undeads. Base skill has a chance to expose and ignores armor. Also deals damage to targets in front of you, so he'll hit the people, like the line in front of you, which is really good. Base skill heals and has a chance to focus. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but I believe that this is the second most powerful heal in the game, underneath Titania's, which makes me want to go A, it's a chance to expose hero that deals damage on the first and ignores armor, really good. Also has a chance to focus and heal with the rage, really good. Unfortunately, this right here, 5-star bonus, not great, increased damage of undead minions. So for me, I am going to put Victor in the B tier because he has some stuff going for him, but I don't think he's quite there yet. Potentially, if you end up finding a way to keep the undead archer and the vampire lore master alive for a long period of time, you potentially have a lot of damage in PvP, but doesn't happen very often. We move on to Delphinia, a valiant hunter, strong versus undead. Base power, chance to weaken. Rage power, has a chance to, or delays enemy powers. Delphinia is phenomenal for the second-ish part of Realm of Fire. I am super excited that I got her, and I will definitely be using her. She goes in the B tier. Then we move on to Diwali. So Diwali is a logical warrior, strong versus demons. Base power has a chance to poison and ignores armor. Rage power deals damage to everybody and heals you for that amount. 5-star bonus increases hero power damage by 50% crit chance against demon enemies. Diwali at max stars. SS. Him paired with an Enduro, he's going to destroy demon heroes, which is phenomenal. And heal you for a crap ton. So Dvalin is fantastic. Then we move on to probably one of my favorite heroes in the game, Don Diego. Shout out to Muffin Mouth because I'm pretty sure they stole that mustache from you. He is a rebel rogue, strong versus outlaw. Base power, deals damage and dispels buffs from the target. Rage power, burns, and his 5-star bonus increases the hero power's 50% crit chance against outlaw enemies. Personally, I find Don Diego fantastic for PvP. His base power is very powerful when you're going up against someone who is playing with Titania, because if they have protect, regen, and focus, you can be like, nope, and just remove those with just a regular base power. It's really strong. So Don Diego, in my opinion, is an S tier hero. Then we move on to Olaf. Olaf here is a Maverick Alchemist, strong versus Golem. He's just a roaming monster guy. That's all he's for. But he is phenomenal at his job. So I am going to put him in the A tier, simply because Acid and Freeze on the same character, top tier. Then we move on to the purples. So we have Millicent, one of the only purples I've ever gotten. She is a Maverick Alchemist, strong versus Outlaw. Chance to stun and ignore armor on base skill, and chance to poison and ignore armor on rage skill. And her 6-star bonus increases the damage dealt by poison status effects by 100%. Personally, I don't find Millicent that great. Maybe if she's 6-starred and you pair her with another poison unit, she could be top tier. Very similar to Vordry with his burn and his max level bonus. The difference is Millicent's not easy to star up. So I'm gonna say potentially she has use once she's fully starred and paired with the proper heroes. So I'm gonna put her in the B tier simply because she has potential once you build her up and you get the proper team behind her. Then we move on to Lanasa, a logical hunter, strong versus trolls. Base power deals damage to the back row, strong versus expose, and the rage power has a chance to acid. A troll hero is always great, especially if she deals damage to the back line. This is a phenomenal unit for White Peaks if you happen to pull her. So for me, Lanasa, if I were to got her, she would have made my life amazing. I'm going to put her in the B tier. Then we move to Vordry. Guys, do I need to even say this? Like, he's obviously F tier, right? Nah, Vordry is the best hero of the game, guys. I'll go over him just real quick in case you don't know. He's a maniacal mage. First skill deals damage to the front row and burns. Rage skill distributes damage across all enemies, and you take damage equal to that health. And when you max star him, you increase the damage dealt by burn status effects by 100%. So he is a monster in Arena. He's a monster in Guild Wars. And he's ridiculously strong in this current event that we have going on, the Dark Tour event. But he is amazing. If you guys are in a guild, which if you're not, you should get at a guild, buy him till he's max starred, and then probably keep buying him. Then we move on to the next hero here, Erickson, Valiant Warrior, strong versus a Goblin. Base skill deals damage to the front row, strong versus armor. Rage skill freezes. I don't know. Let's look at. I actually don't know what his bonus is. That's a chance to inflict weaken with the hero's base power. I think he could have some potential. But he doesn't look that great on paper. I'm gonna put him in C tier. I don't really think he's that great, personally. Maybe he is. I don't know. Chaotic Rogue Militia Gun. Base power is Acid. Rage power deals damage to all enemies, and you take 33% of the total damage. It is strong versus weaken. And then we have increased damage dealt by Acid status by 100%. Okay, so Gun, very similar to Millicent, very similar to Vordry, except she does the Acid. So I'm going to put her in B tier because that just makes sense to me. Even though she's a rogue, if you build an Acid team, she could be really, really strong. Then we move on to Hearn. So Hearn is a rebel mage, strong versus demons. Base power deals damage to back row, chance to weaken. Rage power ignores armor and chance to poison. And the 6-star bonus adds a chance to inflict exposed with this hero's rage power. Hearn is phenomenal for Realm of Fire, so I'm going to put him in A tier because Realm of Fire is very difficult. And if you happen to pull him, he is phenomenal. Then we move on to Gris. Gris is a lawful hunter, strong versus undead. Base power deals damage to the back row, strong versus burn, and rage power ignores armor and is strong versus expose. And then we have increased damage of your beast minions by 20%. Kind of the same thing as before, not great. I'm going to put him in D tier. I don't think he's that good, personally. Then we move on to Logan, a Dark Warrior, strong versus beast. Base power deals damage and has a chance to, and restores health or armor by the same amount. Rage power, chance to weaken. And then the 6-star bonus, base power deals 50% more damage to enemies with expose. Now, there's potential here for this to be strong, and I'm going to tell you why. A, he's a warrior. B, if you max star him, he could heal you for a lot of damage, especially if you have a target. If you're running him with an Enduro and you have expose on your weapon, you could do a lot of damage and heal for a lot in PvP. So Logan, I think, has potential. So because he has some potential, I'm going to put him in B tier. You guys getting kind of like the gist of how I'm doing this? I don't know if you are. Lucan, a rebel hunter, strong versus goblins, base power, chance to stun, rage power, chance to poison. We move into the 6-star bonus. It increases the critical chance of this hero's power by 30%. I actually think Lucan is really cool. A, I think he looks badass. B, he has a chance to crit once you max star him. Definitely some possibilities. He also has this poison, which if you build the poison build with, who was it? Lanasa? No. Millicent? I don't remember. Whoever it was, definitely has some potential. So I am going to stick him in the B tier. Then we have Garen. Unfortunately, Garen is not on this setup. I don't know why, but maybe it's because it was set up prior to him being released. But he is a lawful warrior, strong versus cult. Base power, deals damage, and has a chance to, and delays current power. And rage ability distributes and deals acid damage. Then the power boost here increases the critical chance versus cult enemies. Garen, I think, personally, is phenomenal. I think he is almost on par with Vordry. I would stick him in S tier, but SS tier when he's max skilled, because if you pair him with Diwali, he has an 80% chance to crit versus Cult, which could potentially make him stronger than Vordry if he's max starred, right? The difference is Garen is not easy to max star unless you wailed during this event. All right, on to the uniques. Now, the uniques are a completely different ballgame for me. I only have experience with one unique unit, and that is from watching Muffin Mouth. So we're going strictly based off of their looks and what their base power and rage power state on the paper. So hopefully it's some good stuff. It's Terra, Champion Hunter, strong versus Undead. Base power is strong versus Frozen. Rage power freezes. And at 7-star, increases critical chance of Hunter hero powers by 30%. So Istara is basically Diwali, but a unique. I like it. We are going to put her in S tier, because hunters are... There's not a lot of really good hunters, to be honest. Maybe if you pair it with Lucan, because Lucan here... let's pull him back up. I'm pretty sure doesn't he get crit here? Yeah, so Lucan and Istara together could be a pretty strong combo. Could get some decent crit damage. But yeah, I like Istara. I think she looks cool. I think her crit chance is great. We're good there. Belendu, Lawful Mage, strong versus Golem, chance to regenerate here, distribute, and then when you have her at max star, increases damage of demon minions. Not great. 7-star bonus. Luckily, you're probably never going to get him 7-star without wailing like a shit ton. So Belendu, though, is phenomenal in Guild Boss. So she's going to go into, or he, I don't know, I don't know what it is, dude. Whatever it is going into S tier because best damage dealer versus Avatar, because it has distribute and is a golem hero, so is better than Vordry. Okay, then we move on to Aaron. Aaron is a Maverick warrior, strong versus outlaw. Base power is strong versus weaken. Rage power is chance to expose. And the ultimate, or the 6 or 7-star bonus, give you and your minions a 30% chance to critical damage dealt with chain start attacks. If you can get Aaron to 7-star, she's like one of the best heroes of the game, in my opinion. 30% chance to critical damage dealt with chain start attacks. So if you put critical chance on chain start in your weapon, and you have a focus buff or a buff power that gives you focus, you're just gonna deal a crap ton of damage. But good luck getting her to 7-star. Good luck. If you got it, let me know. Kira, Dark Rogue, strong versus Beasts. Strong versus Burn, base skill, chance to stun on Rage skill, and max power is increased critical chance of Rogue hero powers by 30%. Kira, I think, has potential if you max star her again. But again, it's going to be hard to do it. I'm going to put her in A because she's a rogue, which is not great. She's a beast, which is not great. But if you can max star her, she has potential to pair with other rogues to deal massive damage with the crit. Then we move on to Dr. Phlox. Dr. Phlox is a maniacal alchemist who is strong versed golem. Base power, burn, 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 deals damage to the back row, chance to burn. Rage power, deal damage to all enemies. You take 33% of the total damage, chance to expose. And the 7-star bonus is add a chance to inflict acid with his hero's rage power. Personally, I think that this guy has a lot of potential. You could pair this with Vordry and get a lot of damage from burn, because he burns the back row. Vordry burns the front row, and if you have Vordry max skilled, you have a lot of damage with burn. So I am personally going to put Dr. Phlox in the A tier because I think he has a lot of potential with a max starred Vordry. Then we're going to move on to Lance, Holy Warrior, strong versus Demon. Base skill ignores armor and is strong versus poison. Rage skill is a protect with a heal, just like we have on Titania. 7-star bonus has a chance to apply regen on rage power. Personally, I actually really think this is a okay hero. He's a warrior, so he gets a lot of damage if you pair him with Diwali. And I think that he has a lot of potential in Realm of Fire. I'm going to put him in the S tier. Plus, he also just looks cool. I like paladins. Shields are awesome. Alder, Logical Mage, strong versus Militia. Base power, chance to unfocus. Rage power distributes and ignores armor. And then we have the max star bonus, which adds a stun to the hero's base power. Alder seems cool. I mean, he's a tree, which is awesome. But chance to unfocus doesn't seem that great. And this distributes could be good, I guess, if you are fighting with someone who is like strong versus acid. You have a lot of potential there. But personally, I don't think he's that great. I'm going to put him in B tier. Then we move on to MacLeod. MacLeod is a chaotic hunter, strong versus goblins. Base power deals damage to one enemy in the back row, strong versus poison or frozen, and the rage is strong versus poison. And the ultimate ability is the hero powers gain a 50% critical chance against goblin. So if you pair this with Istara, MacLeod has a lot of potential, so I'll put him in A tier. And last but not least, we have Gabber, whatever you want to call him. Rebel Alchemist, strong versus cult. Base power, chance to regenerate. Deals damage to the back row. Rage power is acid. And the star bonus is increased damage to golem minions. No. I just don't like him. I don't think he's great. E tier. He doesn't, like, he looks okay. Oh, we'll give him D. Why not? He looks cool, right? But guys, that is it. Again, please keep in mind that this is entirely my personal opinion. I will, not argue with you about why you think A is better than B or B is better than C or whatever the case is. I do want to know your guys' opinions. I don't want to start an argument, but I do want to know your opinions. How do you think I ranked? Do you agree with where I ranked them? And if not, why? Again, I haven't had any experience with these units, so I personally don't know if they are better or not in comparison to some other units. But guys, if you guys like this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Where is it? I lost it. I have a subscribe thing, but it's not here. Well, there's supposed to be a subscribe thing. Now I feel like a bad YouTuber. Subscribe to the channel if you guys like this content, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when my content goes live. And if you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below, like I said, about who your favorite hero is and where you think they would rank on here. If you think my stuff is wrong, I'm okay with chatting about it. You can join me down in the Discord. You can also check out my Patreon, my Twitter, and my Twitch. I do try to stream at least 1 to 2 days a week in the front end, sometime between Sunday and Wednesday. Maybe I'll see you guys in the next stream. But thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's been a long one, but I think it's worth it, and you guys have been asking me for this video for a long time. Alright guys, that is it for me. Thank you guys for watching so much, and enjoy the end screen.